Hi guys, and welcome back to iRacing. This time, not a SRF race, we're back in the Radical. Start coming up. Good start. Car to the left. And 2 places off the start. Now try to keep it tidy. That was the second one, was Andrea Tonino. Now we're racing at Phillip Island. We're in 5th at the moment. Phillip Island, Australia, for those who don't know, very fast circuit, flowing. A lot of tricky corners. This is the last week of the championships. I'm nowhere in them. Haven't had a great season. Ooh, had to lift then, got the line wrong. Looks like Tonino did behind me as well. So flat out across the straight. Turn 1 is not quite flat. Doing loads under braking then. I sold in that dummy. I absolutely sold in that dummy. He was desperate to go past. Went in way too deep. Cost me a bit of time to the cars ahead, but they're quicker than me anyway. He lost time off the start and he was just impatient to get past. Went for it and much better. Absolutely flat through the last turn. I think he's got more straight line than me, but I'll crowd him. And he backed out. Probably chopped him a little bit unintentionally then. Apologise if I did to you there, Jim. Nice pass. He learned from the other guy's mistake and made a fair pass. That's, you know, no complaints there. I'm not quick round here. Hitting the limiter a little bit. So I'm not quick. The problem with these with iRacing is that everyone gets to practice massively. So if you don't practice massively, it's hard to keep up. Through the last turn again. So drop down to 6th. Got a little bit of a buffer, but I can't see that lasting. Getting too much understeer in this corner. I tried dialing it out earlier, but although the car wasn't particularly loose, I couldn't be quite so aggressive on the throttle, and it didn't feel really any better, so I toned it back down again. As you can see, it's quite a tricky course. As I say, it's in Australia, and it's called Phillip Island. It literally is on an island. Nice track to finish the season on. Apart from this blessed corner, which I really struggle on. I actually quite like this place. It's got lots of fast flowing curves, which I like. And, you know, I'm just not a quick driver, it's as simple as that. But I enjoy my racing and I do my best, and I make it as hard for everyone when I'm battling. Hard but fair, that's how I race. Guys behind me are quicker, but I'm not sure they're they're not as quick as the guys ahead of me, so well, I say they're not, some of them are, but the cars directly behind me aren't. Lost the back end a little bit there. And most of the cars behind me didn't qualify, so it's only their fault they're behind me. I did qualify, otherwise I'd been last on the grid. Trying to just keep it smooth. Got Thomas, then Tobias, then Thomas, then Andrew Nantonino, the guy who overshot. Bit of oversteer there. Probably what it was actually oversteer in the right place there, just helped me get the car around. Car back end was sliding just a little bit. I think Tobias is quicker in some places and not in others, compared to being quicker everywhere for the guys ahead. There's 11 cars in this race, so I'm smack in the middle at the moment. It's a pretty ugly gear shift. I made it. Sebastiano Filosa is leading at the moment. Never heard of him. From a guy called Rasmus. Then Ian Card and Simon Mitchell too, who I do know. In fact, Simon was just in. Ian was just in my qualifying session. That was the fastest lap in the race for me, by the way. We're 10 minutes into this race as well. 25-minute race. Interestingly, a lot of iRacing races are actually quicker, longer than their real-world counterparts. A lot of club racing is nearer the 20-minute mark. Most iRaces are actually well over 20 minutes. Tonino's caught back up again after his mistake. No doubt will be eager not to make that mistake twice. No, it's a guy called Thomas Willis shown. Andrea's in 9th at the moment. 8th, sorry. Really, I want to get this car turned in a little bit tighter at the middle, sort of the third quarter of that corner, and I just can't. What the oh, some guys are just idiots. The car actually so far doesn't feel very too bad. And that was Tonino again. Hadn't realised he'd got up a place and he just smashed straight into me. Car actually feels alright, amazingly. And Andrea didn't pit, so I know it's Tobias who's behind me. I've got a little bit of extra understeer, but apart from that, that's aero understeer, by the way, not the car's actually, yeah, the car's handling absolutely fine. I've dropped to 8th as a result of that bit of idiocy. Now, I'm doing the commentary live, but you'll have actually seen. I'll do the replay, will be done separately to this race, and will be the external view, so you'll actually see what happened. I do kind of turn in, but he's just come. I think you'll find I turn in, but he's there way too late. The pass was never on in a month of Sundays. Yeah, Andrew's in the pits now. That's an entire result of that, which was what he deserved. My car, absolutely fine. As I say, there might be a hint more understeer. Lap times, that's a 27. In fact, that was a personal best. So the car, despite that hit, and it's quite a big hit, is actually okay. Got 11 minutes left in the race now. I was enjoying that race up to there. That was really quite disappointing. I will be having a polite chat with them after the race, assuming, of course, I mean, this is the thing to always remember. I blamed Andrea, and he might have. I'm absolutely certain I'm right, but until I look at the race, I might, when I look at the race, I might find that actually he got a genuine, a genuine pass on. But it felt like a very solid hit. It wasn't just a side-on-side kiss or something like that. It felt like a really solid side-on-side hit. Sorry, a solid non-side-on-side hit, which basically tells me he was never going to make the corner. That was another good 27, 1 minute 27. I qualified in 1 minute 26s, but I've lost 0 time with the damage I've got. And the car feels absolutely fine. As I say, I'm sure it's got a little bit of aero effect. But Tobias has dropped back to 2.4 seconds. I'm 6 seconds behind Michael. You might hear me hitting the limiter there. You're hitting it so close to the braking points, you just don't think it's worth changing up. That was a slower lap, but not a badly slow lap. Andrea's still in the pits, so obviously got some major damage from that hit. Guys, Thomas is 6.8 ahead of me. Michael's got past him. Michael was about a second a lap quicker than me in qualifying. Maybe 0.8 I think it was in the end. I did a 26.4 and I think he did a 25.6 I think. Pressure's off me a little bit because Tobias doesn't seem to have the speed to keep up with me. I don't know whether he's done his tyres in. He's back at 2.6 seconds now, so he's lost 0.9 in that lap. I've done another 27.5. Which I know isn't my qualifying time, but I'm also, you know, driving, you know, I'm not trying to get every millisecond out of the car. I'm sure if I really tried I could get into the 26s, but at the moment I don't need to. Yeah, my optimum's a 26.9 in this race. Tyres are feeling okay. Good exit, that's about the best I've done that so far. Flat through the last turn. Up to 6. I hate a bit of curb there and it just unsettled the car. That would have cost me. That cost me about a second. Let's not try that again, shall we? We're all allowed the odd poor lap. Tobias actually ran wide as well in the hairpins, so he's dropped back to 3.4. Space to the lap so far, or the race so far, is not likely to be able to make up unless I do something silly. It's just a horrible bump in the middle of that corner. So flat out through there, that was a really poor lap. See if we can get through this lap without a mistake. 4 minutes to go. Reasonable so far. Gap was 3.2 at the end of the last lap. Still in the pits. Possibly gained the 10th on that lap. 27.9. I'll probably lost half a second maybe with the damage, but nothing major. It's hard to know if there's a little bit of loss from tyres, which is normal. Whether it's just tyre loss, half a second tyre loss, or from the damage, or both. It's probably a little bit of both. The balance feels fine. I mean, it really... I think he literally just... Look at... Tonino's disconnected. I think if you looked at Mackay, you'd probably find he's just damaged bodywork and not touched the wheel. Well, that's interesting. I do motorsport marshalling, and it's interesting to see how damage can propagate through a car in an accident. I've seen a radical T-bone another car at not a terribly high speed, but the nose was pushed back, hit the wheel, and bent the suspension. The suspension wasn't physically touched by the other car. It was purely the action of the bodywork going, being pushed back. This lap and one more. Being pushed back, bent the upper wishbone, and I physically couldn't push the car because the wheel was then jammed against the rear bulkhead, or front bulkhead should I say. An effect that's not actually modelled in iRacing. You don't go around dragging wheels like that, whereas you would have done in a real race, if you could steer, that is. Because the jam would have probably prevented him steering as well. Don't know why I lifted them. That's been a poor lap. And we're into the last lap, right. Keep it together, girl. I'm just concentrating, by the way. That's why there's no commentary. Car ahead that's damaged. I doubt I'll catch him. Not when I have to do that, I won't. I had to lift in the last corner. Oh, it was a lap down anyway. And there you go. Disappointing race.